by a lot of like going through very uncomfortable feelings, man. Like going on stage, being super nervous and feeling that I don't know how I'm gonna get through this, but doing it and not dying, that helps a lot. Not dying in the intent and feeling that, okay, so I can do this. But then next time you're on stage, you face the same stuff.
Welcome to the Flying Universe podcast. I'm with Alex Serra here, the magician, ceremonialist in his music. And thank you for being here, Alex. It's such a pleasure to share this upcoming magic podcast with you.
Thank you very much, Ali. Very good to meet you and very excited to share.
I, we were just talking behind the scenes about, yeah, you've been quite on the road quite a long time. And you were just sharing with me, your quote was, it feels like it was long, but it's not really been that long. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, in terms of time since I started sharing my music, I mean it hasn't been that long. I shared like my first personal album in 2019. So it's been like 7 years or so. But what I was saying is that those 7 years have been like like an incredible ride, man. Like really feeling that I opened the box and there's like infinite adventures coming out of it, and proposals from the world and the universe, and it feels it's been a very wild ride, and it keeps going, so
Yeah, I was quite surprised. I got onto your YouTube channel and like I could see that it's been a while since you've not just in everything that you create has been happening so much more before your album as well, and even going back to the days of where you were traveling around South America and all that.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's true, man. Like it actually, like going back, uh, it started a while back. Yeah, like I actually started making music when I was 20. So I was like at a like a kind of crossroads in my life because I was coming out of an injury. I was playing a lot of football that I really loved, and I had to quit playing because I couldn't play anymore because of the injury. So my life took a turn, and that's when I thought, man, I love music. I really would love to give that a go. And then I started learning to play, learning to sing, and I started creating cover songs on YouTube. That's how I started. And that was like 2008, I think, was the first ones. And I just like started like sharing songs that I love from,
Mm.
classics of soul and jazz and things like this that I really love to sing and to listen to. And learning those songs, like finding my voice in them, like reinterpreting them my own way. That was like my that's how I started. It's been a while since that. That's true. It's like almost 20 years, yeah. And then slowly found, my own voice, and I had like the idea to because I was sharing so much on YouTube, I was receiving so much feedback from people all over the world, and I had the idea to go travel the world and meet these people
Mm.
and connect in real life. And so in 2012, I started like a thing that I called the backpack sessions, which is just like me with a backpack and a little guitar and traveling the world, meeting, people on the way, and meeting like very interesting artists that really inspired me to go deeper, no, and to find my own stories. And that's how I got to my music.
When you were backpacking, did you have this intention of possibly being on stage with maybe not what you're sharing now, but what you shared when you came back from there?
I mean, I had a dream that perhaps one day I could do that, but when I started backpacking, I was very shy, man. I was
Mm.
very introverted, very, yeah, very, very shy to share myself in public. So I guess that's one of the reasons why I started traveling is because I wanted to like take shed this skin off, and
Mhm.
start something more authentic and to not be scared to share myself. But definitely it was a long process to believe that I could actually like do this and go on stage on my own and do my own thing. That took a while to realize. Um, so I never imagined that I would be sharing as I share today. No, no ways. I was like so shy. I couldn't, that didn't enter my mind. It was just
Yeah.
an organic thing that started happening, and
Mm.
then in the end, you know, I opened more and more to it, and now I really enjoy it. So
Do you feel that that was the your own medicine in your backpacking days to help you get to where you are now and to expressing and sharing your music?
my own medicine in what sense?
Like as in the traveling was what you needed to come out almost.
Mm, definitely, yeah, definitely. The traveling in the sense that facing facing myself in uncertain situations,
Mhm.
because I was when I started traveling, I also got to a point that I was like very uncomfortable with my life in general because I was trying to follow the rules and become someone in this world, try to fit in, in this world, like find something to do, and but I wasn't finding it, and I was very uncomfortable. And I think the traveling, like to make the decision to start traveling was terrifying because it was leaving like all my comfort behind. But I was really needing a change in my life, and that was like definitely like the step to to start discovering more of myself, no? Things that I didn't know about myself, like almost like superpowers, because I had to face very uncomfortable situations
Mm.
and face them on my own, take my own decisions. So definitely it was definitely a medicine in that sense, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy you shared that because I see your YouTube videos and there's such a beautiful, like amazing artistic and like groundbreaking kind of expression that comes through in how you're, let's say, directing these videos. And I could so sense the what you're sharing now and how you broke through the mold. And it's almost as if
Mhm.
that's kind of the message in your music almost, or at least in the videos, right?
Definitely, man. I feel like part of my art is part of the intention behind my art is to anchor the feelings that I get from overcoming like certain patterns that I want to let go of, no? Like a lot of I think all of my songs are like processes that I'm having in my life that maybe are sticky and uncomfortable, and when I get to a point where I'm able to put it into words and put it into rhythm, and I could really like feel that I'm holding myself, then I just want to like share that, and it becomes like a going like a coming back home
Mhm.
tool for me. Every song is like a coming back home, like a remembering where you come from, remember that anything is possible. you're supported by life, by love,
Mm.
by the people around you. Yeah, it's a trip.
It is a trip, and your music is a trip as well. I mean, your performances or your gifts on stage is magic to receive. You know, I've experienced that firsthand, and to be in that space of seeing you how you kind of go in a trance and begin to really have this transmission almost into the crowd and into the space around you. I feel and I felt the signature, almost unique point of like, oh wow, this is what's why he's there. This is what he's doing, and this is like what he's sharing with us. And how did you come to be anchored in that?
In that space by by a lot of like going through very uncomfortable feelings, man.
Mm,
Like going on stage being super um yeah, super nervous and feeling that I don't know how I'm gonna get through this, but doing it and not dying, that helps a lot. Not dying in the intent and feeling that, okay, so I can do this. But then next time you're on stage, you face the same stuff, So I think for me, in my case, it took a lot of practice, and it still is a practice to trust that everything's gonna be fine, that you can allow yourself to be yourself, that it's gonna be beautiful no matter what, even if you're uncomfortable, even if whatever you feel is beautiful. So if you allow yourself to be there and feel it, it's gonna be fine, and it's gonna be perfect for the people who's there, because
mm.
it's gonna be what they need to experience as well, because it's just life, no? So I think my process has been a trial and error, and seeing that it's all good, that it's fine. And the best gift that I have is to just be myself, even if it's being uncomfortable, on stage.
Oh
So
man, yeah. And
yeah.
when how would you, let's say, categorize your music if that's even possible?
Well, when I started making my own songs, I was saying that it was soul experimental.
Mm, that,
It's
that's
like
that's
just
badass.
me,
Badass, man.
just an experiment of how my soul, or what my soul wants to express, and not having like a fixed structure of how it needs to be. Like I started making songs that were a bit weird, in the sense of a traditional structure of a song, like a verse and a chorus and a
Mm,
verse and a chorus and an ending. They were more of like a space that I could stay in for as much as I wanted to, and in that space start to share feelings. So it's more like a trance for me, where I could see what comes, see what comes, and just be silly and experimental, and in that playfulness with myself, then ideas will start to flow, and in the end I will give them a shape to be able
mm, mm.
to replicate them for people. But it's an experiment, definitely. That's how I called my music, soul experimental.
And so you had this intention right from the start that this was going to be something that's transformational, so for the soul, for people around you, and for who you're sharing your music with.
Definitely. Definitely, the intention behind what I do is to connect with my soul.
Mm,
That's the ultimate goal. I feel like I've always felt very weird, in my life. I've always felt weird, in a sense that I didn't understand how the world works. I didn't understand why I had to behave a certain
mm,
way, why I had to do things in a certain way to follow some kind of rule imposed by who knows who. And so I suffered a lot throughout my whole childhood and my whole life until I began to, yeah, I began to travel and I began to see how people from all sorts of life and all sorts of cultures see things differently. And then I started learning about the invisible world, the things that you can't really put into words, but that you can feel.
Mm.
And I started experimenting a lot with journeying with medicine and psychedelic substances and experimenting another kind of reality that I never thought was there. I had an intuition, but I never experienced it because I was so normal.
Mm.
And with my music, I try to come back to that space and that feeling and bring it to this world, to the physical world, but try to point to that other invisible world that's always there, no? So definitely music is for the soul, is for connecting with what's beyond my obstacles in my mind and the things that I think are possible, and it's a it's an infinite space in there.
Oof. I'm gonna let that sink in. Wow. That was awesome. Yeah, I resonated with everything that you said, and I think this is the construct, right? And I think
Yeah,
there's quite a lot of people like you and me where we get molded and need to break out of the mold and
yeah,
try to find like what is our vehicle of expression of to, into kind of transmitting our own uniqueness into and manifesting that in the space in the world around us. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's like you're speaking like right through me. Yeah, I
beautiful,
can
bro.
feel that as well. Yeah,
I'm happy you resonate.
and yeah, I'm happy you
Yeah,
brought you. Sorry, continue.
sorry, I wanted to add that I think I feel, and I'm sure you feel similarly, like this world is falling apart in the sense that all these mental structures and all these obstacles that we're going through are clearly unsustainable,
Mm,
and we see it every day now. There's incredible conflicts happening in humanity,
mm,
and they reflect this inner struggle of not wanting to see this other thing and wanting to anchor ourselves in the physical and not moving and in terms of our mental structures and who we think we are, and trying to defend that brings a lot of struggle and a lot of suffering, man. And I see it, and I suffer myself from it, and
mm,
I need to change, man. I need to change this, and I think we all want to change. So
mm,
I think it's the part we're living in a perfect moment in time to be able to change, because at the same time all this is happening, so much wisdom and so much knowledge is coming to the surface, and we're all seeing it and
yeah,
we're all wanting to integrate it. So we're needing to walk our talk and start like acting from that space, and not fringe and not become small, but the contrary, to really like live this change that we're wanting, no?
yeah. And it's like the more the extreme conflict that's happening on so many different levels, the more it's I feel the 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 other side of it, the other spectrum where it's so many other people are just like, if this is how wild the world's getting, I might as well just be me and the wildest part of me because like how can people judge me when that's happening over there, you know?
Right. Totally. I feel you, man.
It's like I'll
Like
just be crazy as crazy I can be, you know. And it's like at least I'm not harming anybody, and I'm just sharing some, like fluffy magic starry wisdom, and like just go with it.
totally, man. Like totally. I feel you, man. Let's let's do it. This is people are going crazy. Might as well be crazy as well and bring the crazy beauty that we have inside, no?
Totally, yeah, exactly, exactly. Ah, yeah. And of course, we need to just dive a little deeper into, your collaboration, your partnership with Totidub, and like how does that come in, and how do you guys, work together, and what the story, the energy behind all of that.
Uh-huh. Well, that's fun because it was just a natural evolution, I guess, from what I started creating, like this soul experimental like process with myself of finding like my weirdness and my own voice and the grooves that go with it, and that I feel comfortable with. That naturally attracted like the people, that resonated with that, and Toti was one of them, and I actually like prayed to find someone like him. I was like writing these songs and producing them in the way that I could with what I knew at the time. And when I was finishing them, I was feeling that they could grow, they could become stronger and have more, more bass and more, yeah, like more muscle, in a way. And so I started like imagining like what if I found someone who would understand my message and also be playful with that side of things, and how would that be, and I started like feeling that I found someone and we had a lot of fun together, we were jamming, and that's how I called him in a way,
Mhm.
because like it took like I think a couple weeks until I was speaking to a friend. I was saying I'm looking for someone, to help me to help me produce what I'm doing, and she was telling me that she had a friend called Toti that was amazing with beats and dub, and I resonated with that, and I called him up and invited him home, and then I showed him what I was doing, and he was like, "Wow, man, this is amazing. I love it. I would love to play and collaborate with you and try to like shape them and give them form." And he was super open like me, so we just went into like a space of play, and it took us like we didn't have a timing to when to finish this, no? And it took us like a whole year to go through all the songs that I was crafting and finishing them and finding the right tone for each bass drum and each snare, and atmospheres that were complementing what was there. And it was an incredible ride, and we became very good friends in the process of creating that. And after that, we decided to share that together, and grow
Mhm.
that together. So that's been this since we met in 2017. We've been traveling the world and sharing what we do.
And when you guys create, and you create your album, and you put your energy into producing that music, is it different than what you share on stage?
Well, when we create the songs that we create, that's like our the backbone of what we do, and then we have a lot of flexibility on stage because
Mm.
we create the songs. We're using this software called Ableton Live, which works with scenes. So each part of the song is a scene.
Mm.
It's like an ambience, like an atmosphere. And so you can stay in that scene for as long as you want. and then you transition into the next one, and then to the next one, and then to the next one. So every song is like is like a story that goes through scenes. And when we're on stage, we just feel each other out and see if we want to continue there for a while, because there's space for, I don't know, for me to go wild on the microphone, or play with a bit of guitar, or him to like go wild on some synth or something, you know. So it's a space for jamming as well when
Mhm.
we're on stage. But the backbone is the songs. It's the actual songs that we created. Yeah.
And in your last album, or let's say the last couple of albums, do you go in the studio and you're like, let's just roll with it, or is there the intention of like, this is the kind of frequency that I want to put out there?
There is a process for me to like, the songs start from processes that I'm living in my life, no? So they're like, they tell a story of what I'm going through. And so it takes a while for me to put that down and to find the right chords to it, the right wording, the right groove. So until I don't have that, I don't feel I don't feel ready to start something, you know? It's like I need to like feel comfortable with how I'm saying what I'm saying, you know? So when I have at least like an idea of it and a groove and something like that, maybe I don't have the words yet, but I have like a melody, I have an idea of that.
Mm.
Then I go to Toti and I'm like, "Listen, this is an idea, no?" And then we start there. Sometimes from scratch, recording the guitars, recording the music, the melodies. Sometimes I bring something already prepared, and we work from there. But every song is an emotional process that I'm going through in my life.
Mm. And I saw recently you're like launching these master classes on creativity and other topics involved. Would you say like that's your superpower? Like being in the moment of like, okay, I'm creative now. Now I'm gonna make the magic. Like you know it's going to happen.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's very fun because I did a couple of those in the last months, and the last one I did like last week, I think. And it was super fun because it gives me a chance to transmit to people that are wanting to also create music the idea that our life is full of beautiful stories,
Mhm.
and that if we find a way to put that into a song, like who paints a picture, of a scene in their lives, to be able to put into rhythm, into melody, what you're feeling and the things that you're going through, and you tell a story of what you're going through. In my experience, it's become life changing, no? Because I've been able to connect with a lot of people all over the world, and many people express that my stories are helping them so much in their own stories, no? Because people resonate with the story, with the feeling behind it, with what you're the intention behind what you're singing, so they can reflect that into their own lives, and really accompany their own processes, and help them heal stuff. So that's incredible. And in these sessions, I'm wanting to transmit this idea, and I feel that people receive it, and they get very inspired to write their own things. So it's very beautiful.
Has anyone ever called you a healer?
They call me many things, man. It's fun.
What is let's play around with that. What is like, let's say the top two or three titles that you get called like quite often?
Yeah, like I think in a like a jokey way, they've called me a healer. They call me a shaman.
Mm.
They've like a sex master, because people are having sex to my music and they're having like so much fun and they come to me
Oh, it's
like
amazing.
come to me and they come to me and they're like, man, your music is so good to have sex to. I, I always find it so funny, you know.
Mm.
But yeah, I've had many people call me different things. Like everyone makes up their own story, you know.
Mm.
It's
Wow.
funny.
And do you feel there's a next evolution coming to your music, or are you still in the flow with what you've created so far?
I am creating a new album now with Toti,
Mm.
and we're in the process of fine-tuning some of the songs, and there were some songs that were coming the from the era of my last album, from the Trance Live album, that didn't make it to the album because they were quite different.
Mhm.
And that's like the initiation into this next album. And in the time since we released that, like 2023, like 3 years ago, I've composed some new things, and we're putting that into, we're producing that as well, and we're putting all of it together into something that feels like an evolution. Definitely feels like something that reflects where I am now, which is like I'm living I'm living a transformation. I feel like with everything that's going through in the world, I see that the universe is really inviting me to be bold and to be authentic, and be wild, like we were saying, like really my inner world, the things that I go through in my intimacy, when I am with myself, when I pray, when I ask for guidance, for help, to please see things in a different light, because I just want to be at peace, and I just want to feel freedom and be joyful, because that's my nature. The universe is inviting me to really anchor that in my system, in my body, and really step up in that sense, to really like not be scared to share that. So I feel like that's the evolution that my music is also taking, and that's where this new album is going to as well.
Wow. So you're still going to be anchored in your creation mode for quite some time.
Sorry,
You're
didn't get
still
that.
anchoring in your creation mode for still the years to come. You're not like, ah, I'm kind of like letting this go and starting something else, like get a farmhouse somewhere and start farming.
Maybe, yeah, but I'm always gonna have music to support my inner journeys. No, I feel like I discovered something very beautiful, like a treasure, like a jewel that is never ending. Maybe I can put it aside for a while and do other things, but this thing keeps coming up. No, it's like uh, an inner communication, an inner conversation that is very, very vibrant and powerful, and I feel like there's a lot of wisdom there, and music is definitely a channel to transmit that. Maybe I find other things, but at the moment I really see music as the main thing.
Mm. Is it like an on and off button, or are you continuously seeing like music creation all around you, kind of like ideas and things showing up within you, or are there like times you're on and times you're off?
I was gonna say, I wish there was an on and off. I
Okay.
really wish there was an on and off, because it's never ending, man. And sometimes I want to turn it off, and it doesn't stop. And I think like my the on and off is to really breathe into it when it's wild, and
Mm,
uh, and to and to not want to act on every idea that I have, because it's
mm,
impossible physically. But I haven't found the on and off button yet. No, it's
Yeah, I
always
kind of
on.
heard like so far from you. What I'm feeling is that you're in it. You're in it, and you kind of you see the door, but you're like, nah, I'm staying here. I'll stay in, and I'll just like swim in this bubble of awesomeness and creativity.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm really wanting to learn is to be in the flow, um, and to be to be patient, to be relaxed in it, to not want to grab onto, the next
Mm,
idea and the next idea because that takes a lot of energy. And in in this lifetime, as this body, as this character, I have a limited amount of energy. That's what I'm learning, and
mm,
I need to learn how to balance that energy and to be able to be with this, but also I'm a daddy now, I have a family, so also to nurture that very much, and when I'm there, like, be fully present there, you know. Uh and then when I'm doing music, then be fully present there, I guess to be fully present is what I'm wanting to learn really, and anchor, to feel it in my body, to be here, and to trust that when I need more ideas and more creativity, it's always going to be there. So I don't have to constantly be feeding those narratives. They will come, they will come. Now I'm here, I'm with you, having a good time. I don't need to be anywhere else.
mm.
That's what I'm wanting to anchor.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you,
And
man.
um, yeah, one of my final questions is to musicians is if there's someone on the street that I want to invite into your concert, your performance, what is the wording I would use to put that invitation for them to show up?
Uh-huh. I don't know, man. Maybe to connect to themselves, to their heart, to have a good time, to allow themselves to be silly, to be funny, to allow themselves to feel anything, all the emotions, to embrace all the emotions, and to have a good time.
That's so beautiful. Thank you, Alex. Wow.
Thank you, and thank you for this space.
Yeah, this was such a pleasure to have you here to share and discuss and just going deeper into your world, and there's so many things I would love to talk about more. Like I could even see it on your social media, how your authenticity comes out so purely and so like innocently, and you bring that
Thank
to
you.
your music as well. There's no, at least for me, I don't feel it. How can I say? There's no rock star energy. You're just
Uh-huh.
there, you're just present, and you're just sharing, and you're allowing people to be in the vibe with you.
Uh-huh.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that
Yeah.
very much because I do have to challenge my rock star energy, I do have to challenge it because it's there,
Mm,
because that's what I've learned since I was a kid, and I'm trying to open a different door because I feel that there's an opportunity here to really transmit something very deep and powerful, because I've struggled so much to be able to share my voice, and I see that in many people that we struggle because we trying to follow certain certain idols,
mm.
certain ways, and that's not sustainable, and it's not, doesn't make you happy in the long run. So I try to yeah, to filter that before I share.
So basically, party with Alex, and you'll get the medicine. More or less.
Party with us, man. It's gonna be fun.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Alex, for being here. And yeah,
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing you in Europe very soon with your concerts and performances.
yeah, yeah. I would love to just mention
Yeah,
that,
please do.
there's gonna be a beautiful opportunity to experience this together and to play together with all of what we just shared, because we're traveling for the first time with my whole band, with Toti, and also uh musicians and dancers. We have like a whole thing happening that's very beautiful. And we'll be sharing for the first time together on the road for a few shows in Europe and Spain. And we're going to go to Berlin on the 9th of April, to Zurich on the 11th, to Amsterdam on the 14th, and then Barcelona on the 21st of April, and Madrid on the 8th of May, and Bilbao on the 10th of May, and Mallorca as well on the 16th of April. Sorry, I missed that. So that's going to be a beautiful chance to meet up,
So
and I would
good.
love to see you all there.
Yeah, so good. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, looking forward
Thank
to seeing the magic. Thank you.
thank you, Ali, man. Very good to meet you, man.
The same here. See you soon.
See you soon.